I wanted to talk a little bit more about my death experience. Early, I had given kind of a step through of how it all went. But since then, there was so much put in there that I have had the opportunity to go through and to learn from. And this lately, it's been another one, and it's um, been interesting. First of all, I want to say I was born in the early 60s, flower child. I can wear a flower in my hair in the summer if I want to. One more time. Ah, cute. Next thing is I'm two people. I was this person before my death experience, and I'm somebody way different after. I look the same. I probably have a lot of the same mannerisms, but how I feel, how I believe, how I um who who I am. I have no better word than to say psychologically, because that has been changed so much. Period. Starting with my psychology. Yeah, I had talked in other videos about abuse, and I did therapy. Some of those are locked, so you won't be able to see them. But um, talking about in those videos how I've made incredible changes in my life, but all the drama, trauma, all that stuff was included in that part of my life. And because of that, rage was always close, sadness, anger, you know, um, the inability to trust, to always be on guard. Like I had PTSD when PTSD wasn't even cool. Um, we're talking 30 years ago. My death experience happened 5 years ago. So I was a very different person, very guarded, very, my armor was up, and just a whole different type of person. In my death, I, had conversations with the Lord, but I didn't know I was being healed. I knew I was having an experience, and I think I'm actually seeing more about that experience and how it affected me. One of the first things I realized, this was after a couple months coming home rehabilitating, that all those memories that would trigger me, such a overly used word now, but very much so for this, trigger me, they were no longer triggers. I was somehow emotionally detached, and it was like I was seeing through a glass window. And, I'd flip through other memories and it was still the same. And that was very interesting. And I've said in other videos how removing all that self loathing makes me feel like I'm everyone else. So I'm up to the same level everyone else is now. I'm normal. Um, that was a big one. Um, and then more recently is memories that would pop up. I mean, not self generated, just pop up. And I would see this scenario and I would see that, my actions in it, and how those actions help to change a trajectory or an outcome. And so now I can feel good about myself, which is foreign territory. I would say it's a little bit scary, but I know that God is on the good side and He loves me and supports me. So I feel like this is actually a gift from Him. And it is something that I've needed to accomplish what I think He would have me do. Let me snip onto that really quick. When I came back, it was, oh, you died and you came back. You must be back for a reason, or God has something for you to do. Always pelted with that. But it bothered me because I didn't know what it was. I didn't come back with this, you know, 10 commandments or this, um, you will be doing this now. You know, I did not get that. But I'm seeing is trauma has been separated from me, so I'm free of it. I found my esteem in God's love, self esteem in God's love and my worth. And that helps me to be a happy person, and then I see that actually I've been a good person all along. And that makes me even feel better about myself. It's like I'm being rebuilt in God's way. And all the stuff that made me that way is gone. And the process is quite amazing. I would tell you right now, I'm scared. I've made changes in my life before. Like, I'd party and then I just left that and then just went over to this whole other way of living. Complete change. And they say people can't change. You can change as much as you want to. But I don't feel, I guess I just say God's got, in the driver's seat, and I've not been hurt by this, and I need to trust him and be strong. I think that I I need support to be strong, and I can find that in my husband. I'm so thankful for that. I think that I am being groomed for a role. I don't know what. I know it's going to utilize my natural abilities, and I'm glad I have them. And I want to make sure that I keep them and maintain them while being open to guidance in growing and building in other ways, or just becoming aware, coming online. Um, I have a lot of care for my people I go to church with and their readiness for these last days. I feel like we all should be responsible for each other to be able to help us to do it. But I swear I feel it so strong. And I need to figure out a way to do that. I feel like I'm just in a phase of becoming aware of things, and then just being brave enough to step up and do what I am being asked or will be asked to do. And it's unfortunately I can't look to other people around me. Um, it's just going to have to be me and God. I have dreams, and they confirm all this, and I need to be ready. But I think one of the things that I want to talk about is the me before and after. Like I know that's true. People that know me are close enough, they see it, and it's one of my besties. She sees it. She says it's there. Yeah, of course it is. I'm just not the same kind of person. Um, I remember, golly, it's before Mike and I married, and it was like a New Year's Eve, and I was in a pub with a friend. I don't drink, but we went there, and so we're dancing, having a good time, and this guy's sitting there at the counter, and he's like, I can read your palm for you. I said, it's all right, don't worry about it. And he's like, no, I'm not going to charge you, I'll just do it. I'm like, okay, whatever. So I hand him my hand, and he looks at my palm and he says, well, you will have two lives. I'm like, what? He says, here's your lifeline, and it comes down just about right there on my hand. He says, so you will die young. But then he's like, but look right here. Here's another one. And this goes all the way down. I said, so what does it mean if I have two lifelines? And he says, you're going to die and you're going to live, you know? It was so weird. I packed it up, whatever. He also told me I was going to have a boy. And anyway, just kind of threw it back in the back memory or whatever. And I was thinking about it today, like it popped up, like, well, he said that. Not that I believe in palmistry, and not that I don't. I think that there's a lot of stuff out there. So I would not poo-poo against it at all. Anyway, I thought, oh, that's so funny that he saw that on my hand. It was there. So I thought that was kind of interesting. I am so thankful to have this opportunity, to have this life with being encumbered by all of that. Like, I feel like that's enough to be happy about. But I know that that's not all there is. I do believe he brought me back for a reason. And through my dreams and my dreams and my dreams, I think I know what it is. And I do know what it is. And now I just got to pull my butt together, strengthen up, and do it. And, and be strong enough to take the fight back, when it's not well received. But God didn't call no wimp. We have these things called a blessing. And in the blessing, it will tell you certain things. It's kind of like the one that Jacob or Israel did with his sons. And in mine, it cautioned me about the adversary. But the very first line says that I will be held back to come forth at this time in the world because of my faithfulness to my Heavenly Father's plan. I assume everyone said that. So one day I went up to a patriarch and I said, is this something common? Like, I think everyone gets to do your genealogy, kind of stuff. But he says, only see it a couple times, and, that alone would make me think that, excuse me, that Heavenly Father wants to use me. And I am excited about that. And even though I'm a little scared, because I feel like this little girl, which is, but I am with my tender parts. My skin is off now. I used to have an armor and walls and mean looking face and all that. And all that's gone now. And I'm vulnerable. And I have love in my heart. And I make room for love in my heart and in my home and in my interactions with people. And so, I got to be strong in that. I know that every single individual on this planet, and he told me, is loved. Like, love is not an adequate word. It is not. We don't have human words that could express the love. And I got a chance. I don't know if I got a chance or felt it. But it's we peered into another person's soul. And we saw the jewel inside of there. And then I felt him own that soul. Because that was his. That was his son. That was his son. And he was the most important person on this earth. But then he looked at me. And he saw me. And he touched the jewel in me. And I was the most important person in that world. And he says it's the same for everyone. And when I look at others, I mean, there's people who are just nasty and grumpy and stay out of their way, but I see, I try to see that jewel. And if it's all possible and appropriate and everything, I want to touch. I want to connect our spirits for a second. Just let them know they've been seen. And I saw their jewel. Or if I didn't saw it, I know that he has one in there. And I'll just love him for that. Because he's my brother or my sister, you know. I'm not high on pot. I'm high on love. You know, I look down and at the world with him, and I looked at all the religions and all the things, and I said, they're doing it wrong. You know, they're doing it wrong. And he told me, he says, they are doing the best they can with what they have as earthly knowledge, you know, and that it was okay. It was okay. It was appreciated, you know. People were trying to reach up and connect with God. And he would take what they gave because he loves them all so much. And that's a wonderful message to me. And I've been struggling with it in another way, with the fact that if it's not enough for man and they're not finding your heart or whatever, and it's not enough, then that's not righteousness. That's not their place. So the whole thing in a nutshell is what binds our universe. And it's what makes the whole earth move as a machine, interdependent on every single part of it, like our ecosystems, like everything, all moving around. And what binds it all together is love. Love. Look at the 10 Commandments. Love. Look at the Beatitudes. Love. Look at everything. Love. Islam says it's a religion of love. My religion brings people to Christ and to his love. It's all love. And it's an easy thing to put on in the morning and walk out the door and apply it. You go get gas, extra smile at the girl at the checkout, you know, throw a couple extra pennies in for the guy behind you, you know, say hi, you know, and those are the least common denominator things you could do. You could do so much more and reap so much more. But it's all about love. It is. It's all about love. And in what I was talking about, feeling that my chore is or manage or whatever to do, my mission was to help people get to a certain place. And I love them. And it will be through love that they can get there. I know this is quite different than my last video about monsters. I actually made that private because it doesn't really follow with my overall theme, but it will be fun and maybe I can put it back out there around Halloween, be more appropriate then. Anyway, love to you all. Mwah. It is the universal glue, so get sticky.